SRT8 bumper update. So let's take a look at this. As you know, that was the aftermath of the armadillo some time ago, and I took this thing off. Wintertime got after me, so we put this project on pause. You can see all the scratches on the bottom. Watch the previous videos, but I've done some repair. The crack across the bottom, I got that repaired. It doesn't have to really look great on the bottom, but I am patching things up on the top here, and we're getting that all smoothed out. That will be filled. We'll fill those 4 holes for the license plate. And this is what I've done today. Had a couple of days of good weather, so I got a chance to get out here and do some sanding on this. High spots were over here, so I brought down the high spots. I made a little valley that the filler will sit in. Smooth this out. I got the chip across here, and I made a valley all the way up. So then I'm gonna fill that valley. It's gonna sit above that little crack a little bit, and it's gonna make it smooth again. And I show you some of the grinder bits that I used. Use some of these bits right here. Just put it on a drill. Not a lot of speed, but I'll do some hand sanding on this thing and get it all patched up. Some people say, why not just buy a new one? Well, I like a project, and these things are expensive, so I'm gonna try this first, and then maybe later we'll buy one. That's the 80 grit sanding, bottom and the top. We got the holes there. That doesn't have to be perfect because it's 80 grit. I'm gonna put filler over this, and I believe I'm gonna have to go ahead and sand all this down. In case I wrap it, it's gonna have to be smooth underneath there. I can't just leave it open. I guess I could, but probably need to sand it down with the 80 grit. And this spot over here got sanded. And in case you guys haven't ever sanded before, you start with the low number grit and work your way to a high number grit. When you sand this across here, you're just like smoothing out the edges where it looks round like that. I'll put filler over this. I'll have to sand that filler and then get more fine with it, but I'll put filler over this 80 grit right here. And that's the way I do it. There's different ways to do it. If you're a body man, you may have some advice for me, but that's the way I do it. Make sure everything sits smooth. You can take your finger and run across the top and see if it's smooth. If you make it look good at 80 grit, it's going to look better at 180, 320, 400, all those grits. I do miss driving this sucker. I'm bondoing up the bumper, and one of the hardest things about this is just getting that bondo in the hardener and mix it in time to get it on smooth, because it was a little bit cool out here, maybe 60 degrees or something like that, but stuff hardened pretty fast. So I'm gonna have to do a second coat on the back bumper, and I think I've finished with the front bumper, but we'll give this stuff some time to set in and see if there's not any holes. But let me show you. So you see my mixing process here, and you can see how some of that hardened up before I got it spread. That was on the back bumper, and this was here on the front bumper, so it went smoother. Right, there's my hardener. This is famous armadillo spot. You want to get this stuff on there thick enough to where you cannot see the crease. If you can see the crease, it's going to come out in the finished product, so you got to cover it up. That's why they call it filler. License plate holes, had to get them in deep. It's been a while since I messed with this stuff, so it took me a second to get my groove back and fill those holes, but you can't see it. You can't see the holes, or you're not going to be able to see them on the finished product after I send all this away, give it time to dry. But see how you can't see anything? So that's all going to sand out smooth. Same way with the top of the bumper right there. So like I said, give that stuff some time to harden. And you're going to smooth that out with the sander. Shot at this, you can see the little indentation there. You can really get a good view of it here, both the coats. This stuff is blue, so I'm just going to take a thicker coat right there. Here's the back bumper after I smoothed this out with some 80 grit. Got some 320 and went back over it. What's left is just fine tuning, getting underneath the bumper, getting all that smoothed out. Underneath not as important, like I said, but we got a little more work to go. So I'm gonna call this a vlog right here, and anything else I'm gonna put it in a different vlog. I think I gave you enough information for a little update so far. But subscribe to the channel, subscribe, and then subscribe again. 2025 Ultimate Expression.